Today we installed a motorcycle dash cam called BlueSkySea B1M. So far the install went pretty smooth. This is the main unit right here. This unit here is my Eastern Beaver unit. It's a switched relay port that I use instead of having to connect to all my wiring harnesses and potentially damaging wires. Because this is switched, I can actually use the B1M's power supply, which is this guy. And it has a positive always on, a positive switch connection, and then a ground wire. For me, the positive always on and the positive switch go into one connection here, and the ground goes into the other connection, and that fixes my problem. As you can tell, there is quite a few wires. There's, well, 4. They're quite long. They're about probably 6 or 7 feet, give or take a little bit. They're plenty to reach large or small motorcycles. I really wish that they made the rear camera cable a little bit longer by default, because then I could have just skipped running an extra long extension cable and just plugged right into the unit. That would have saved me some time, but all the extra cable went on top of my ETC unit. This is where I've had to put the power cable coiled up for now. I'm on a BMW F800R, so my cabling's a little bit tricky, but I ran all my cables through here underneath the airbox, along following the wiring harness and up into the wiring harness through here, and then across here over to the front camera, and over here for the remote control. So far everything works pretty well. It's pretty easy to get these things lined up because at the top here, they have a little arrow that points up for when they need to be set up. And then my rear one is back down here underneath my top box, and it fits snugly just above the license plate. I managed to run the wire up through the license plate mount holder up through the bottom of the bike. Hopefully that won't cause any problems in the future, but it's a bit of a snug fit to get it through here. But so far it went pretty smooth. I still need to do a test run, but so far I'm happy with how easy the flow was. My only thing that I haven't liked so far is it looks like there's no GPS on this model, so you don't get like your miles per hour or your kilometers per hour in the event of, like, say, an accident. That way you can prove that you weren't speeding. But hey, we're motorcyclists. I think most of us probably speed, but that's beside the point. Anyway, guys, I'm going to finish putting back on my cowlings now and hopefully get out for a test ride after and show you guys some comparison footage between my old model DV688 and the new model B1M. Cheers, guys. Alright, so things are now back as they should be. We're going to get ready to go for a test ride here shortly. But everything's now back in order. Things are bundled up. And the old bike is ready to go. So let's hope this goes well. Alright, hello YouTube, and welcome back to Life with Pi. It's good to see you all today. So we're back again with the BlueSkySea B1M motorcycle dash cam or drive recorder. So my initial impressions with the product, I've used it now for a couple days. I am happy with it overall. The build quality of the unit seems pretty legit. It's fairly sturdy. It's got your a USB connection here, and your micro SD card goes in this little port down in here. Sorry, right in there. It is waterproof. It's rated for IP67, so it's like rainproof. Obviously I wouldn't go dunking this in a bucket of water, but overall, if it's underneath your seat on your motorbike, where it most likely will be in the event of most people, it'll be perfectly fine. The camera quality is pretty good. Sorry, these ones still have the new tab on them because this is the model that's for my fiance's motorbike. I have a model installed on my BMW. I really like the build quality of the cameras. I felt that this was pretty decent. It does have the nice little up arrow indicator to tell you which way it's like mounted. So if you have the camera mounted underneath the top box, point the arrow up and it will be on the horizontal. And it shouldn't be too difficult to fine tune it from there. This unit doesn't have a screen, unlike the DV688. This is the B1M.
and it uses Wi-Fi to communicate with your smartphone, which is really cool. I have tried the smartphone app. It's neat to be able to log into the application, hit like start recording, or adjust any settings like do you want wide dynamic range on or not, or the exposure value for like if you're writing at nighttime, say the image is coming in a little too dark, you can up the exposure value and increase the brightness of the scene. Of course, that'll increase noise in the imagery over time. Um, so far, the footage that I've seen, I will add in a little bit, probably towards the end of this video, a comparison between the DV688 and the B1M video footage itself for the cameras, because I have the old one as well. Uh, I would say image quality wise, it's roughly about the same. It could be due to the locations where I mounted my cameras that I have a little bit too much vibration, uh, because I have mine mounted to one side of my windscreen. Because on my BMW F800R, there's no real like nice area to mount it in the front of the bike. Sadly, at this point, excuse me. Um, but overall, I would say yes, I am happy with the unit. I do currently have a little bit of EMI, or electromagnetic interference, on my rear camera. I haven't quite figured out why yet. It might be due to one of my connections. I need to go over those again. I've been talking with the engineers that work for BlueSkySea, which are really cool people. They're more than happy to help with support. Um, and I think I can fix that up, but I noticed it was only when I first started using the unit. After a while, it seemed to clean up. I'm guessing maybe the internal battery had to recharge itself over time and it was the first ride, or it could be because of how I have the power routed. The power for this uses three cables. It uses a red always positive line, it uses a yellow accessory line, or it's a powered switched connection, so like something to your tail light probably, and a grounded negative connection, which is a black wire. Depending on your bike, this could be a really easy install. If you know what you're doing with your electrical, it should only take you probably 10 to 15 minutes to install the wires, and then running the actual wires for these guys. Like, you have the power line, the remote connection, and then the front and rear camera connections. That'll take you a little bit depending on the model of your motorcycle that you have. On my BMW, it took me probably about an hour and a half to run all the wires, because I'm very picky about how I ran my wires. Uh, but overall, no complaints. It's a typical wiring job on a motorcycle. The wire quality is quite good. It's very tough and durable, it feels like. I think they'll be pretty heat resistant too. I was a little worried about that. Because my BMW, near the frame underneath my airbox, which I have on the install video, that area gets really, really hot on my motorcycle. Sorry guys, I have a bit of a cold today. And so far I've had no issues with either the previous or the newer camera. But yeah, guys, overall I'd say this is a decent unit. It's affordable. Do not plan to use this for, like, say, moto vlogging. The best use for this is for a dash cam. It's meant to be in case you have an accident, you have it on record, or if a car hits you from behind or T-bones you, you can at least have photo evidence that you're not at fault, hopefully. Mind you, it also is that double-edged sword. If you go rear-ending a car, it's now on camera, and it's that double-edged sword that shows you're at fault, depending on the situation. For the price tag, I think right now it was about 16,000 Japanese yen, which is, I want to say it's about $150 right now, but the market's been fluctuating so much, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd say it's worth the price. It does the job. If you want the moto vlog experience, then you're going to be wanting to investing in something like GoPros and something of like with higher image stabilization and quality. But this, it records in 1920 by 1080p at 30 FPS. It's got the 135 degree field of view. It's waterproof to IP67 or rainproof. Yeah, like it does the job of a dash cam. The battery draw isn't too bad. It is, let's see, it's 1.5 amps for the working voltage, a 5 volt DC 5 volt 1.5 amp draw. Working current is 600 milliamp hours on a DC 5 volt. And yeah, guys, I don't know. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me, or well, not email me, but put a message in the comments below the video. I am actually working now on getting some voltage testers to actively monitor my battery. This to be in communication with the development department for this product, to try and help them out, like figure out any troubleshooting issues, because they really want to eliminate EMI altogether. I've had EMI on both models, but I mean, you can have that on any model of dash cam out there, because when you're tapping into a motorcycle's electricity system to power a camera unit, it really depends on the quality of your connections, heat, the electricity fluctuations in your bike. There's a million and one factors that can go into this. Someone who's more electrically inclined should maybe explain that a little bit more than me. But overall, though, I would recommend this dash cam to people for a cheap, safe alternative. If you can't afford, like, say, 3 or 4 GoPros to mount all over your bike and become the world's YouTube star of motovlogging. So if you want dash cam, I recommend it. BlueSkySea is pretty cool. Their tech support has been awesome. I had one camera die on my DV688 in the past. I got in touch with them, and within 2 days I had a replacement camera at my door, under warranty, no charge to me. They were really cool about it. Again, camera build quality is good. The main unit feels fairly sturdy and decent. The app is decent. It has its own little bugs here and there, but overall, though, it does work well, and when it works really well. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed our little review here. Again, I recommend the product, and hope you guys all have a great day. Cheers.